She can speak Croatian, but she is actually native Italian. She has studied also and finished her PhD in Ireland in Italian language, so she will tell us more. So she's here as a representative of the ABC Scuola, as we said, that offers all kinds of support for Italian language and Italian tests. So, Serena, as you know, Italy offers a large number of study programs in English. However, it's often said that Italians are not the best speakers of English. So do you agree with this, or this has changed in the new digital era we live in?
Hi everyone, dobar dan. I would say it is changing because, believe it or not, I think it's changing also because of COVID. Because from what I see also from my ex-students who went to live in Italy, for the last 5 years, and also students I had back when I was in Ireland, when I was teaching Italian in Ireland, people somehow approach Italy with a less a skeptical approach, because Italy has become, especially higher education, has become more and more international, and new generations that are more exposed to digital world, to platforms, and to creation of their own ideas, like fashion brands, for example, as we heard here. I think that there is hope. So, and also maybe, let's say, people between 20 and 35 years old are more and more aware that they need to be international, that they need to be exposed, and to be exposing themselves to different languages. So I would say it's going to get better and better in that sense.
So something good in TikTok and Instagram.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and you have completed your PhD studies in Ireland, live between Croatia and Italy. As a professor of the Italian language, what advantages of mastering the basics of Italian language would you highlight as important before actually enrolling your studies in Italy?
Before I start talking specifically about ABC Scuola, maybe my personal background can help figuring out what I think is necessary to be a optimal, let's say, to be a speaker at an optimal level. I think it's communication-based method, which means that, and this is also allowed by newest technologies and platforms. What I mean by communication is something that goes through comparative approaches between languages. So it's something like the compared stylistics, which we all studied in the university when we were studying language, and I come from the world of translation. So as a translator, and as somebody who has lived in different countries before coming to Croatia, I'm actually an ex-nomad. I used to be much more of a nomad than what I am in the last 15 years. Because before Croatia, I was living for a long time in northern Italy, where I completed my first degree, and then I was in Belgium, and then I was in Rome, and then I was in Ireland, and then I finally came to Croatia. But there were a lot of periods spent in France, and in Belgium, and in England. So translation was the basics for everything, even though it was not necessarily put into a professional context. And what I think now that you can become a speaker of any language, not just of Italian, is that when you put your own language, your own native speaking attitude, and the foreign language on the same level. Because every language has its own system, but these systems are like communicating vases. They're all connected together. So when you base your own approach and didactic methods on communication, you can definitely take the further step that makes you, let's say, believe more in your own possibilities, in your own skills. And what happens here, and now I connect with Croatia, in Croatian context, is that unlike students I had that were almost all English-speaking students, when I came to Croatia, I found myself in a much more privileged position, because Croatian speakers, even beginners, they're like already potential Italian speakers, because they're speakers of Slavic languages. Slavic languages contain a specific potential for phonetics, which other speakers do not have. And Croatian speakers have a wonderful memory for sounds, because they're Slavic speakers. So what happened, and I noticed that from the very beginning, is that people, if put in a right human affective context, they kind of remember, like a prosthetic memory they know already of Italian. So the first lesson in my classes at least is, let's discover how many words you know of Italian and how you can actually build your own first little conversation, the first week, based on those words. And it actually works, because people are more confident in that way.
Okay, so Slavic roots are great for
Absolutely.
learning languages. So you should feel privileged and speak at least 4 foreign languages. Thank you, Serena. Martina, kako ste došli na ideju za osnivanjem prve platforme za povezivanje Hrvatske, Adria regije i Italije u